tia Oheneba Media open news papa Oheneba Media and somewhere koso Oheneba Media asem papa wo ho Oheneba Media asem kase bi asie Oheneba Media sempa wo mu oi Oheneba Media sempa wo mu obi ametie yen
Ebusianfo ya mo bibia kwaba edebo Oheneba Media so midi edema me yakisiwa the Virgin Lady ba kopema jedwa matena se na ensemo a etwego e wontentan fidie ne so edumrese ya na medaba be somo na onso wo de ekoso e wo social media no eso na ensemo a ebobo ba efri se yenuabe ma Atsu efri mu no na dodo na ebisa se oh yenuabe me kwan be na befa so a 7 preduasa busua be sie no isanse se yehwemu a abranti ya bɔ ne homoden pa e wo Ghana mamu hanom a wabobo ama Ghana wo hwe teams bi a obegina ye ma Ghana sa bɔ ma Ghana Black Stars enu achi no okwakwa kosi akan e wa meno ne agina mu ama o my Ghana eti nipa says wo bɔ ne homoden dum pempenso se ya na etwa se Ghana for 7 previous se otimi ewu anase se ofiri mu a na e wo se yenyina yetimi ewu no se ofata se yetimi sie no ekwan papa so anase yesie ne ba bia onipa bia ebe kai no enunti na ehu behia se GFM mpanyifo ebetimi asoso manamo no makwakọ piemu ewo ye Ghana man panyini ho nana Addo dankwa Akufo-Addo na yebakwa ko share videos bi ene pictures bi a echego na ansa na no meka wo se yechego live enti be bia wo bia no na won so wa share na wa like edi no Oheneba 1 TV wo Facebook sanso ana YouTube Oheneba Media na wa subscribe edi amaye Christian Atsu ne sister Atsu pie nyina nim se de ababa wai o go through a lot ni nua baba kwa waka say arehosem wo hwe wo nua ba ma abrebia timi ne di nkomo na all of a sudden watimi afiri mu wo ekwan bone bi say so na se ekwan ana se woyi aya bi say wonka bi nhye mu no na ye nua ba yesu na abrebia osu eno ti GFM mpanyimfo etimi aka bomu ama omunyina akwa hunu ye Ghana man panyina na so makwa sra ye Ghana man panyini sebe ya officially no omubetimi ede ato nana adodankwa anim na ekwan ono so betimi afaso na abrantie no yesie no esie papa meka esie papa na mechim se state barrier wetimi enya bi sana nse yenua ba ebone free mu na dodo na nekasa yenua ba wa ye bia magana wabeto nyom baby bi obekọ bia wogina mu Ghana nti ababa wei ono nso etimi nya bia na efe ewom se ne ewuo na eyade ne nso se uwu na siesie wusie papa ne ye de kaiwa eyade ya na eye ana se abusua no omowe etimi ekyekere kakra eti yenkohwe abra na GFM mpanyifo ene Christian Atsu ne sister ekohia nana adodankwa ene ni mpanyifo enkomo a omudi ye yenkohwe bi na yentie de ekoso
to officially inform you about the intention of the family to work closely with the Ministry of Youth and Sports, the Football Association, and the government led by your good self to give our brother a befitting burial. Christian Atsu was a very, very dedicated footballer who had 66 caps for the Black Stars. The height of his career was in the year 2015 when he scored the best goal of the tournament at the AFCON. He was also selected as a member of the team of the tournament. And most importantly, he was voted the best player of the tournament in the year 2015. Christian Atsu served the Black Stars with all his heart. He served all national teams as and when he was called upon. And until his demise, he was still a member of our team, so long as the team selectors picked him. Beyond the field of play, Your Excellency, he was a philanthropist. His deeds and works are all over the place. And I think the world has spoken to all the good deeds that Christian Atsu Trasam did to mankind. Your Excellency, the family is humbled to have been received by your good self, and we are ready to work closely with your good self to find a befitting resting place for our dear brother. Thank you very much.
Ebusia for se metua so enso edi amawana ensem no wo hwa na eye arehosem anase utie sere GF mpanyifo edi eto nana ado dankwa Akufo-Addo ye Ghana man panyini wode eto nanim ana utimi hu se omura ho omahwe onipa kese edi afri omumu nyina ene se mrebi atwamu no na Christian esiakan edi ma Black Stars anase waba bebo ne homoden edi ama Ghana waba be ye bi edi ama Ghana na ho ode onu ankasa ne modern bo waye bi pa nti na oye nipa e wo se omutimi ekai no nti officially no wo mu se na Ghana fo nyina kekekeke bi nanso ye nhye dan fa nkokoto ye Ghana man panyina nim anase one ne mpanyimfo enya enti ne ye enti na wo se omutimi kɔ anase omutu anamo na omudi abusua ne bi ka wo mo ho ye nuaba Christian Atsu ni nuaba no ka ho bia e wo so mu nyina timi kokko dru e honom na omone ye Ghana man panyini etimi ekasa na sei na nana adodankwa Akufo-Addo nso so etimi echiremu ene ensem a okaye e de chire abusua yenkotie ne nsem no so ebe
President of GFA, the sister of Christian Atsu and members of the delegation. I first of all to welcome you to Jubilee House, the seat of the presidency of our country. There are times when it is not pleasant to be in this chair. Today is one of them. The young man that we're all mourning was an exceptional athlete, a gift to our nation. All those of us who are football fanatics, I count myself as one, spend a lot of time admiring him and his exploits on the field. The news that came from Turkey as a result of this tragedy that occurred there was also a very tortuous experience for us, because initially we were made to understand that he was all right, and then came the concluding, defining news that indeed he had been called by the Almighty. It's a tragedy for his family, it's a tragedy for his community, and it's a tragedy for our country. I want to express to you, representatives of his family and of the football fraternity of Ghana, my deep condolence and sympathies for what has happened. And I speak not just for myself, but then for the entire 31 million people of our country. Fortunately for us, we have in Turkey a very dedicated, dynamic woman who's our ambassador, who spared no effort to make sure that not only was he located, but that decent arrangements were made for his repatriation to us here in Ghana. I thank God for that. Just as I thank God also for the cooperation of the Turkish authorities, who have proved that a friend in need is indeed a friend indeed. I've had the privilege of talking to the Turkish President Erdogan to express our collective thanks to Turkey and to his government for the assistance that they gave, not just in locating our compatriot, but also facilitating his return back home. There are people here whose sense of grief is bound to be even more acute than others. And I speak particularly about his twin sister. And the brothers. And I know this must be a very difficult moment for you. But I think our responsibility is to give you as much support as we can. It can never erase the loss of this very brilliant man. But there it is. I always console myself with the thought that at the end of the day, no matter the circumstances, the Almighty will call each one of us one by one. And perhaps that was his destiny, that he be called in this tragic way. It is important that the Ghanaian people express their appreciation for his work that he did for our nation and the contribution he made to the development of the game, which is our national pastime, soccer, and to the development of sports in general. So I've asked the Chief of Staff, who unfortunately is outside our crowd today, to make sure that we organize a state-assisted funeral for Christian Atsu, depending on the date that you, the members of the family, and the GFA will select. And that everything will be done from the point of view of government to make sure that he's given a dignified exit. I think it's my duty and my responsibility as president to make sure that that happens. I don't know what your plans are, but I would think that the sooner we can get this unfortunate episode behind us, the better for all of us, as a nation, as a community, as a family, as a sporting fraternity, and not to have it linger for too long. But as I say, the decision as to when the funeral will take place is that of the family. That is a tradition in Ghana that all of us know, that when it comes to matters of death and burial, it's a family that decides. But whatever the decision, whatever date that you choose, you should know that the government will stand squarely behind you. And you have my deep sympathies about what has happened. It's a tragedy that this young man who did so much for our country, not just on the field of sports. I've heard about all the philanthropic work that he did, should end his life in this tragic manner. But the ways of the Lord are not the ways of man. So we cannot understand what he understands. All that we can do is to do our best to go through the experience.
Abusianfo enti ensamwa ye Ghana man panyini na Addo dankwa Akufo-Addo etremu no na echese edoso pa ni nyina ene se abusianfo no na ochehye omu nyina ewe ana afei so ochechwe nnwuma abrantie no ebaaye anase otena ase no modembo a oboye edebo a oman Ghana enunti na otremu se oye man panyini no ono nso so eyade a eha ne pa na se ewuo no aye ne yapa ye nyina ye bebisa ye ho nsem pi se efri se ye nua be me efri mu no eden na man panyini eka fa ho man panyini etimi aka nsem bi de afa ho ansakra na ebusua no eko ne nchen anase omukọ no mode kwakoto nanim ewo ekwan bi so eso sebe ye obetimi enya state burial na ensem wei ana nana adodankwa Akufo-Addo kotroye ewo ne page enti se okohonom a na Christian Atsu na ne mfonyini ebo honom kese a wode eto honom na ochocho ensem wei edi eguase na ensem a otroye ne bi ene say or say the Lord gave and the Lord have taken away. Job 1:21 eno ena odi kan toy owie ye no ena to aso ha say on behalf of the government and the people of Ghana, I extend sincere heartfelt condolences to the widowed children and family of our fellow Ghanaian, Christian Atsu, on the sad news of his death. Ghana football has lost one of its finest personnel and ambassadors, one who will be difficult to replace. He will be sorely missed. May his soul rest in bosom of the Almighty until the last day of the resurrection, when we shall all meet again. Amen. Eno ene ensemwa nana adodankwa Akufo-Addo ekotroye enso edeto na otremu se ade aye ne yapa na se ewoi etimi aye ne ya onipa na obone homoden anase na abrebia no woye bibi papa ede ema Ghana ma okogine mo baabia na ye boni din yesi Ghana fo mo wo footballers mo ya ade mo wo nkofo bi hono mo a omo bo mo homoden anase Ghana ha no mo wo players papa e wo ha no ma chese baby bi ombegina bia no omutimi ebobo ede ma Ghana ema yetimi ebo mu din ti nipa wei enya ade a ye betimi e replace no ana ne su nipa de ansha ne yentimi enya bi enti ya pa na bebe bia na busua ewo ene na dofo ne nuanom ne yire ne ne ma bebe bia mu wo bia ogina Ghana nyina na mu ana afenso omo ka ne ho na manyokuo ho obi bia anamu no akase mu nyina ye mamu yakọ na metwaso nso ewo hanoma na my Ghana daily enso ekire sa ensemi a ye Ghana man panyini eka ye nyina efa Christian Atsu ni wo no ekwan ye befa so ye beye baby ye besie no ene enkomo mudi ye ni nyina eye krata no so watro de ato hanom eno nti mekenkan na eno nso yetimi etie de afri hanom na matwetwe mu kakra na afen so ye nyina etimi ate ase enti my daily Ghana enso ensemwa omochoye eni. Also, President Akufo-Addo declared on Monday that Christian Atsu Trasam, a Ghanaian international footballer who died in the Turkish earthquake, we were granted a state assistant funeral. Inti na say obetimi enya state burial nyame ya adomo a na se abusuya enyina ahia na ada omudi date na ebetu dwa so mo pese omusie omode hye no state burial no betimi aye possible isanse Ghana man panyina kasa assign asie meto aso nso ewo ha biwa o say Atsu 31 was discovered dead on February 18, 2021 following the devastating earthquake that struck Turkey and Syria on February 6, killing over 50,000 people in both countries. Enti na omo chire mu kwan a efa so ne nipa dodo a omo so etimi efiri mu na eda ye nua be men ye declare se wetimi efiri mu na eye February 18th ena ono so etimi efiri mu na ye nua be men enya emfie aduasa baako michima na Christian Atsu ni mfia onya ye eno no onya 31 years. Meto aso nso ewo hanoma President Akufo-Addo stated that the government will do all possible to ensure the footballers' dignified exit. Internet say, bibi bia ebusuano so ebeye bia no say aban say anase nana adodankwa ene ne man mu nyina say omo behwe say omo bekura bibia kama nti say akwakoye aban asem meto aso so ha or say it is my duty and responsibility as a president to make sure that happens, he said after receiving a delegation from the late footballer's family at the Jubilee House in Accra. Enti ensem we nyina ye Ghana man panyini Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo ekaye ewo abra na family members ne wo ho a mechiemu na Christian Atsu ne sister nso ewo bi ene ne busuafo ni nyina ene GFA mpanyifo nyina wo ho se Nana Addo Dankwa echiemu se asemwe esi ne naso na obehwe se yebetimi akra emu no ewo kwan papa so ebusua no so ebetimi enya aboto yemu na okasa asemwe ewo Jubilee House ehonom ena sansemwe ekoso. The delegation led by Ghana Football Association President Kurt Okerku had visited him to properly notify him of their king's untimely death. Eno ene de esie na ochiemu nyina de akosia ose GFA mpanyimfo a Kurt Okerku enso ena eda no a we president ono ene de sansemwe nyina officially ode ekodan ye Ghana man panyini Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo a nyame adom okoye nso na asem no ya ambo anto angu na emom Ghana man panyini ene ne man mu fo nyina enso etimi asom ama asem no etimi aye papa anase akokowie yie ama ebusua ni nyina nso ebo ato omoyem enti sa wo screen so a na eno nso na echagu so no na wo hwemfonyini na ekoso na nyina nso ye abra omukodu ye yenuaba Atsu enwai oduye ono nso etimi ne Ghana man panyini twamfo nyini ema echiwe mu se na ebusua no nso bebre na ne wo honom Christian Atsu family no ewo ho sanso ana GFA ene ne panyimfo nyina nso ekopie mu honom a na sa enkomo no omde koto Ghana man panyini anim no ono so ambo angu asese de obetimi enya state barrier na wo share messages via abeba na nipa dodo na nso ena ekasa bebre na ewo ho ebi mo era ho sanso ena bi mo so ensema omode ba no eso ensema omode ebo abaso na messages e ba ye o sent interview ne so a ebi efiri ha sanso ena wo hye hanom so a so far menya messages bi so ewo ha making kind nyina na enche media ne so aba na wie ye Dan Ken the message we e ba ye ewo Facebook na ensema oka o see the most painful death I have seen in my entire life. Very unbearable. Eno ene semwa. Ye nuabe mai etroye ewo honom. Na say osene ra ho pa. Ni wi ase nyina ewu a wo hu a. In fact, akana koma pa. Eno ne Christian Atsu ni wo no. Emmanuel so the message we aba o say, rest in peace, my dear brother. I am from Liberia and followed the entire tragedy. So saddened to hear that such a humble person like you could face this brother and no any someone so echoye edebaye na obi so etwa so ewo hanoma ne din de Emilia or say the Turkish Airlines really did well. God bless you and no enso ne sama ochoye ewo ha maso oboche say okay maso say na chese and also ene de ebaye ewo ha na usha dodo na ena omuguso a omore ahwo na me call YouTube hanom nso a na menya messages bi ewa hanom brighter future say condolences to the family and friends eno ene semode aba ewa hanom sanso na comfort say RIP na ebusianfo said the medical amamonya na ntie no abrebia na ye de tenasia na ensem no de kochi ko bremai ma betanse ma cheche ni nyina mu e de acho so far de akoso eno no na nyame ya adom nso na se ebre ebemu dia eyie da no yekobi na de besi bia na nso yemfa enkame mu yebema matie ne yamahwe bi na mahu de ekoso na musumu se Oheneba Media ene panko ane wo se yede ebesomo midi edema me ya kisiwa the Virgin Lady ba kope aha ene bebe ma me kwan na midi dwumade no asi yaboafo tap saying adabo frofin omene so ma cinema dwumade metimi edebe somo ewo efeso sanso ena baby bia wo bia na Facebook wa like it na wa share na YouTube nso wa subscribe ede amaye macau ye besan so share bio bye bye
Pasempa biatia Oheneba Media open news papa Oheneba Media and somewhere koso Oheneba Media asempapa wo ho Oheneba Media asem kase bi asie Oheneba Media asempa wo mu Oheneba Media